Vale, creo que estamos en directo. Espérame tantito. Ahí está. Muy bien. Hey, ¿cómo está, gente de YouTube? Aquí un nuevo directo para el canal. Estamos nosotros nuevamente en Genshin Impact. Y como podrán ver el título, estamos en el final ya de este rito de la linterna. Así que bueno, vamos a ir para allá. Si no recuerdo, es el tercero. O el cuarto. Ya no sé qué rito de la linterna estamos. Ya no me acuerdo la neta de qué rito de la linterna estamos. A ver, el primero fue... Eh... El primero fue el de las linternas. Después, ¿qué fue? Ya no me acuerdo. Hola, Piclo, muchas gracias por pasar directo. En serio, te agradezco mucho, muchas gracias. Espérate, ahora estoy en un shock. A ver, tengo que investigar eso. A ver, el primer rito de la linterna fue el de Xiao. El segundo es el que no me acuerdo. A ver, tengo que investigar eso.
That's a dope breakfast right there. The perfect way to start your day.
Porque siendo sincero, ya no me acuerdo cuántos ritos de las linternas hemos tenido. Es más, voy a investigarlo en Google.
Whether it takes me uphill, downhill, or out to the sticks, I get the goods from A to B. I'll even take them across the sea if needed. So don't worry, you're in safe hands. They don't call me the gold standard.
A ver, estuvo el rito de la linterna del 2021. Después el de 2024, 22, después de 2023 y 2024. Creo que sí estoy bien yo. Eso es lo que mi mente me quiere decir. Pero bueno, ya no los atraso más porque ya perdí mucho la cuenta. Hola, Piclo, nuevamente te saludo. En serio, perdí la cuenta de cuántos A ver, el primero fue el de Xiao. Me acuerdo que había una Kekin de los juegos artificiales. No me acuerdo cuál era el próximo. Eso lo tengo que investigar. O sea, tengo la percepción de la realidad bien reiterada ahorita. ¿El del año pasado de qué fue? A la torre. Tranquilo. Veamos qué es lo que ocurre. Navia y Clorinde.
Well, if it isn't my dear partners. See, I told you that something good was going to happen during our travels today. I have to say, sometimes the steamboats
Vaya.
spot on.
Ya tenemos al que cree los horóscopos.
It's just your lucky day. Are you guys also here to catch the festivities? Oh, and that reminds me. Happy Lantern Rite.
Feliz rito de la linterna.
Lantern Rite.
Igualmente.
Happy Lantern Rite to you too! Wait, if you're here for Lantern Rite, then what are you doing on top of this deserted mountain? And that voice we heard, that was you, right now?
Oh, impressive. You could tell it was me from that far away.
That or your voice is just really loud.
Well, of course it is. After all, I'm a boss.
Indeed. I suppose it's an asset.
Sure is. Having a loud voice is a handy tool when it comes to
Así es.
communication. Wait. That wasn't even Paimon's point. Paimon just wants to know why you two were shouting from the top of this deserted mountain. There was something about almonds, maybe? And buell fruit? Ooh, is it some sort of secret code?
No, it's not a code. The words are meaningless.
Yo estaba gritando por gritar.
The act of shouting was very meaningful indeed. That's just what mountain climbers do, right? After all the hard work it takes to make it to the top, as you stand on the summit looking out at the vast scenery, it's not easy to resist the urge to release those emotions.
Ya entiendo, lo que gritas no es lo importante.
Exactly. You get me, partner. I was afraid that it would cause a disturbance, so I asked the locals around here, and they said it was fine. Apparently, most hikers like to shout when they get to the top, so the locals are used to it by now. So, you see, it's not just me. I guess everyone shouts from the top
Ya
of the
no.
mountain at some point in their life.
Speak for yourself.
When you're stressed, don't you ever just get the urge to do something for no reason?
Not really. If I ever get stressed, I just go hunting.
Un buen método.
Pretty good way to relieve stress.
What I choose to hunt depends on my mood.
Anyway,
Ok, eso está no diferente.
you give it a try. Shout,
As long as Paimon has clothes on her back and food in her belly, Paimon doesn't think there's any stress that needs relieving.
Yo soy más de aguantarme.
oh, I bet you guys are just too embarrassed to let loose. No need to be shy. Even Farina was shouting from the top of this mountain earlier.
¿Quién has dicho?
Did Paimon hear that right? Farina's also here?
Espero que no ande de arrogante, ¿eh?
Believe in your ears. It is indeed as you heard. Actually, the reason we climbed this mountain in the first place was also because we heard the sound of shouting.
Yes, we could just about make out someone yelling things like, "Help me!" and "What should I do?" So we hurried up here to check it out. And what do you know? Miss Farina was standing right there, all red in the face. She practically sprinted back down the mountain the minute she saw us.
Vaya.
That reminds me. I believe what she actually said was, "So help me, I will figure out what I should do about this script."
So you could actually hear what she was saying? Why didn't you say so earlier? I thought someone was really in trouble.
I figured we would come check out the situation either way. Why not let her keep some privacy?
Oh, seems like you caught Farina in the middle of some stress relief as well.
Vaya.
She would have never thought. No, she definitely would have never thought she would run into anyone she knew all the way out here.
Como creo que estaba con Regulis.
So, we ran into Nervalet on the way here as well, but he was already on his way back, so they probably weren't together.
What? Nervalet was here too?
Tenemos a media fontera aquí.
What was she doing here? It couldn't have been for vacation.
I think it just might have been, actually. But apparently he only stayed for half a day before heading back. He's a very busy man.
Neuvillette is not the type to take much time off. Taking even a half day for himself is already a huge step in the right...
Didn't Charlotte publish an article on the Liyue tea industry recently? Maybe he was inspired to come buy some tea after reading that article. You know.
My situation is completely different. I'm here because I was asked to accompany
¿Cómo desviar la atención de ella?
added bonus of this location.
You Fontanians and your tea drinking.
Oh, it's not for me. I lost a bet with Ridesley, and now I have to buy him something.
Es un regalo
It's
perfecto.
just a spur of the moment sort of bet. Ridesley gets really invested in that sort of thing, but he couldn't care less about what he wins in the end. You could give him mint plants that you plucked from the side of the road, and he wouldn't even mind.
If only he was that easygoing when it came to talking business. In any case, I'm pretty sure the tea you bought is this region's specialty. What is it called again?
Té es un globo. Compra 10 cajas y llévatelos a mitad de precio. Té es un globo.
Yes, that's the one.
You didn't really buy 10 boxes, did you?
Please, do I look like someone who would fall for that sort of marketing trap?
That reminds me. You guys said you only came up here because you heard my voice, right? I hope it didn't put you out.
Oh, that's right. Hutao! A few days ago, we heard that a friend was going to be in Chaoying Village. So we decided to come and see if we could run into her.
Oh dear. We've been chatting for quite some time.
Para nada, socia.
That's good.
We should probably head out and look for Hutao.
No need to stay on our account. We just got up here, so we're gonna stay around for a little longer.
Go and meet your friend. We can meet up in Chaoying Village later.
Me parece bien.
Good. We're gonna head down the mountain then. See you later.
Nos vemos. Ah, genial. Skywars. Chutao, ¿dónde estás? Ya te vi, ¿estás hablando con Forina?
Chaoying Village is known for its tea, but you know what else they have with tea?
El dim sum.
Dim sum! Didn't Gaming say something about dim sum being eaten in the morning?
Hasta ahora más bien sería un té vespertino.
Time of day. Oh, well that's fine too. Paimon doesn't care what kind of tea it is as long as it comes with some tasty snacks. Now let's see what kind of yummy things we can find around here. Paimon's not seeing things, is she? Is that Farina standing between Zhongli and Hutao?
Eso es verdad, tiene que ser ella.
What they're talking about. Zhongli knows a lot of stuff. Maybe he's telling Farina about Chaoying Village.
¿Quién sabe?
Oh, or maybe Hutao is trying to rope Farina into being one of her clients.
¿Hacemos una apuesta?
This isn't the Fortress of Maryland, but Paimon could be convinced for the right price. Let's say loser buys the winner. Since Zhongli is there, Paimon bets things are pretty tame. It's decided then. Paimon votes for tour guide Zhongli.
Yo voto por la Jotado, véndelo todo.
All right, no time to waste. Let's go.
Esta vez pongo la que asusta.
Oh, great. Now Paimon's shouting too.
Oh, well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Seems like our luck just keeps up.
That we were able to meet you both without prior arrangement must mean that this is quite the serendipitous meeting indeed.
Huh? Oh, so both of you are acquainted with the traveler in Paimon then? Looks like someone's learned a thing or two from Zhongli.
Así es.
I must admit, I am a bit surprised to see you here, traveler.
¿Y eso por qué?
Seeing as you're a hero who's been all over to that, it makes sense that you would be well-traveled and well-connected. Since we have found ourselves in each other's company within this fertile land, allow me to take this opportunity to wish you a happy lantern rite.
Feliz rito de la
It
linterna.
appears you have been to Fontaine then.
Debe ser que ya estuvieron en
Given
Ponte.
your
Claro que sí.
proclivity to spread good deeds wherever you go, it's no surprise that you would make the acquaintance of a celebrity as illustrious and celebrated as Miss Farina.
That's quite high praise. What I mean to say is, you flatter me, Mr. Zhongli. Although I've built up a certain following within Fontaine, it is no...
Qué humilde enfrente del arcón Tegeo, ¿no?
I stand before you right now as nothing more than an ordinary traveler in search of beautiful scenery and creative inspiration. There is definitely more to Mr. Zhongli than meets the eye. I could tell as much from our conversation.
Se nota.
Given his breadth of knowledge on both academic and worldly matters, there's no way he hasn't heard about what happened in Fontaine. Is he just feigning ignorance for my benefit? No. Yeah. You're no common tourist. I simply won't have you talk about yourself that way.
Esa Forina.
Does that mean Hutao? You may not have heard, friends, but... Miss Farina is now one of my esteemed Yep.
¿Has oído, Paimon? ¿Has oído eso, Paimon?
Okay, you win. Guess Paimon will have have to break into the hidden stash at the bottom of her shoe.
Huh? What's this about winning something? Don't tell me. You two were placing bets on us?
Fue idea de Paimon.
Oh, we just saw you guys standing on the side of the road and couldn't help but take guesses as to what you were.
Oh, I see. That means you, my friend, must have guessed that I was trying to promote my business to Miss Farina.
Sí, qué bien me conoces.
That I do, my friend. What was Paimon's guess then?
Paimon thought Zhongli was showing the newbie around.
By newbie, you mean me, right?
Ni que hubiera otra recién llegada.
If that's the case, then Paimon's guess was also correct.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Zhongli was telling me about some great sightseeing spots in the area.
You see? Paimon was right too. Since both of our guesses were right, there can't be a winner or a loser.
Está bien, quédate con tus ahorros secretos.
Don't be upset, traveler. How about this? You buy Paimonable and Paimon will also buy youable.
Es lo mismo.
As for the third,
Since I was the subject of the bet, perhaps it should go to me? You know, as a congratulations for the huge deal I just struck.
Yo te puedo invitar cuando quieras.
I was just joking. Anyway, I should be the one treating you.
¿Y qué negocio has hecho tú?
Bring in quite the sum after all.
oh, Paimon almost forgot to ask about the most important question. Did something happen recently, Farina?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, you know, with you enlisting the services of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor and all.
Oh, well, yes.
Really? Oh, Paimon is so sorry for your loss. Although Paimon may have not known the person, please accept
Whoa, it's not like that, Paimon.
Huh? But Paimon just thought, since you hired the services of a funeral parlor and all. Hey,
Really, Paimon, it's not like you don't know me. Do I look like I know anyone who would ask me to
En eso es
coordinate a
verdad.
funeral?
Hola Diego Vázquez, muchas gracias por pasar directo, te lo agradezco mucho, muchas gracias.
Miss Hu Tao is simply helping prepare some props for my film.
Ah.
Not too long ago, I read a collection of horror stories from Liyue. The content was spectacular. In fact, I still feel the need to...
Qué asustadiza me saliste, Forina.
Anyway, that's not the point. Now that Fontaine's biggest star has returned to the stage, I figured it's about time the industry enjoyed a breath of fresh air.
Esa es como una ola llegando a sus vidas.
Hey, that's pretty good. I'll have to remember that for my ad posters.
oh, Paimon sees. That makes a lot of sense. So, did you come to Liyue just to enlist the services of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor?
Well, not exactly.
Oh, que la canción. ¿Para qué viniste entonces?
My plan was to just relax and enjoy the sights. But then I ran into Miss Hu Tao and Mr. Zhongli, and well, you know the rest.
It was a fated meeting indeed.
Zhongli sure loves his lofty turns of phrase. But if you ask me, it's all thanks to that man who stopped to ask for directions.
Oh, who was it?
It's someone you know. Wanna take a guess?
Es Neolit, ¿verdad?
What? How did you guess that on your first try?
Bien, ¿y tú, Diego Vázquez? ¿Cómo estás tú? Yo todo bien, gracias a Dios. ¿Tú cómo estás?
Very impressive, my friend. Your guessing game is spot on.
Está adivinarlo todo. Cuentas todo lo que había pasado con Navia y Clorid de lo alto de la montaña. Una mirada de los ojos suplicantes de Purina basta para convencerte de que omites la parte de los gritos. Increíble.
Paimon never thought Neuvillette would be the type to get lost.
I'm sure he didn't get lost. Even I was able to find my way to this place without any trouble. He was already getting ready to leave by the time I arrived. He just wanted to ask someone about the quickest way to get back to Fontaine. Yup, that's exactly what he asked. This area is full of mountains and rivers. It's normal to not know the fastest route.
Para él nadar hubiera sido la forma más rápida de todos.
So, were you the one that pointed him in the right direction, Hu-Tao?
Of course. I'm also a guide of sorts, you know. So naturally, I also have a great sense of direction.
Nice, Utao.
But speaking of your friend...
Well,
out much, does he?
Así es.
No wonder. He was stiff as a board and way too polite. I would have never guessed he was here on vacation if you hadn't told me.
Normal.
All in all, he was only here for half a day. I'm pretty sure he's the only one who would consider that to be a vacation.
Oh? This gentleman you speak of must keep
Tú sabes perfectamente.
I'm sure he does. You didn't see him, but he was dressed like he was about to attend some important meeting. It wasn't anything like what someone would wear on vacation.
Is that so?
Wait, you didn't see him, Jean-Louis?
Unfortunately, no. At the time, it appeared as if Director Hu and Miss Farina were having quite the productive conversation. I know matters of business can take...
Imagínense si esos dos se hubieran encontrado. Se hubieran agarrado madrazos los dos.
What a shame. That gentleman seemed like a sophisticated sort of guy.
No creo yo eso.
You two would have hit it off.
Is that so?
Él hasta duda. A juzgar por cómo está actuando Shangri y teniendo en cuenta la verdadera identidad de Neulit, ¿acaso Shangri lo evitó a propósito? Sí. Ya entiendo. Es una lástima.
To borrow Miss Farina's turn of phrase, perhaps it just wasn't...
No, te lo evitaste, lo sabe perfectamente.
Well, with the traveler around, I'm sure you'll have a chance to get to know each other at some point.
That's right.
Si es que no se agarra a golpes.
He knows what to do with.
Soy la embajadora social.
Oh, that's certainly true. Oh, that reminds me. If you get the chance, you should try and talk to Nervaland.
No creo que pueda.
Just tell him the Palais Marmonia isn't going to fall apart if he disappears for a few days. He shouldn't keep himself cooped up all the time.
Ojalá fuera así de fácil.
Even clams open their shells to let in fresh water every once in a while, right? If he's really that much of a stickler for protocol, he can fill out a leave of absence request. He'd have to approve it himself since he handles that sort of thing now, but you know what I mean. Seems like this gentleman is also in charge of something pretty important.
Es el juez supremo de toda Fontaine, un hombre íntegro y justo.
Sounds like a pretty uptight sort of guy, all right. In my experience, a leader needs to be able to roll with the punches. That also includes knowing when and what to prioritize. It seems like your friend still has a lot of growing to do. If I remember correctly, he's already several thousands of years old. You were quite right, Miss Hutao.
Oh? Traveler, Miss Farina. Those two individuals over there appear to recognize you.
Oh, it's Navia and Cloran.
No vayas a salir corriendo, Purina.
Over here.
Vaya, cuánta gente se reunió, ¿no? Hola Mario, muchas gracias por pasar directo, te lo agradezco mucho, muchas gracias.
And we're wondering if we could join in. Please, excuse the interruption.
So polite. No apologies necessary. Any friend of the traveler and Miss Farina is a friend of mine.
Ah, straight to the point. I like it.
Todos se reúnen alrededor y comienzan a presentarse. Después de enterarse de la profesión de Corina y de Ajutado le brillan los... ¡No! ¡No! Sin embargo, tras una breve explicación de Corina, había Ajutado deja de lado ciertas ideas de su mente. Casi entramos en un momento crítico, chicos.
It's getting late.
Así
If
es.
we want to catch a boat back before dark, we should probably get going. Indeed. Then, Miss Farina,
Oh, yeah?
when are you planning to head back? Do you need us to escort you?
Oh, I don't think that will be necessary.
Van a hacer sus animalitos para que la defiendan.
I mean, you're not my subordinate anymore. You don't need to look after me.
I didn't mean it that way. It's normal for friends to travel home together if they run into each other on the road.
There are a lot of mountainous roads in this area. I imagine they'll be even harder to navigate after dark. Exactly. Just like in those ghost stories.
No, ya lo espantaste.
Paths converge in a way.
Ay, Dios, Jutao, no empieces.
If you take a closer look, there may be something you mistook. A candle flickers to and fro. Yet there's
Qué
no
cagona la
way to
Jutao.
make it so.
Y le rompió el corazón.
My dear demoiselles, ladies, no, I mean friends, please take me with you.
Of course.
Farina.
Gotta say, Farina, you are really quite the character. By the way, did I hear you mention that Clorand used to work under you? Then you must have also been a leader at some point. Well, that's, all in the past now. Besides, being a leader is hard. It wasn't the right job for me. I prefer how things are now. I can come and go as I please, and get to enjoy the sweet taste
Así
of
es.
freedom.
I see. Well, you've certainly picked an apt place to relax. Xiaoying Village is an exemplary choice.
Only the best. And I've learned a lot, too. Thank you so much, Miss Hu Tao and Mr. Zhongli. It's fine. You've thanked us more than enough already. The next time you're in this neck of the woods, I'll treat you to some dim sum in the city. Dim sum. Is that some kind of Liyue term for snacks or desserts? They are a part of it. It's basically a table full of as much tea, sweets, and good company as you can manage. Oh, so it's basically a tea party. Sounds great.
Make sure to order the winter melon cake and the lotus flower crisp. They're so sweet and delicious.
Así es.
Knows you'll love them.
Ooh, okay. I'll be looking forward to it then.
Wait, but didn't you guys say you were here on vacation? How come you're all going home empty-handed?
¿No se le llevaron los souvenirs?
Of course I am. I bought tons of fun things to bring home with me. A kite, a parasol, a little tin frog that jumps. Oh, and a stuffed toy of a mythical beast. Clorand is the one who didn't buy anything for herself.
So all you're bringing back with you is that tea?
And some tea-flavored hard candies. They're for Sijuin.
Eso parece que guay.
Isn't much of a shopaholic.
Well, one of us has to practice restraint.
Hey, I'm hardly reckless with my Mora. I'll have you know, all the purchases I made today were well within my budget.
¿Y tú, Farina?
Oh, well, I bought some tea, of course. I just had to try all the varieties recommended in the Steambird. Other than that, just some bits and bobs, you know. A little bit of this, little bit of that. They should all be things I can use, I think.
Con que cayeron las trampas comerciales.
Now Paimon's even more confused. If you bought that much stuff, where did it all go? Into one of Linny's magic packets?
Oh, actually,
Monsieur Neuvillette took them with him.
No, ¿por qué?
Oh, so that's what happened. Wait, what?
¡Huevonas!
Why did he take them? He's not hoarding treasure, is he?
that's quite the imagination you've got. Monsieur Neuvillette just saw the amount of bags we had and offered to take them.
Qué amable ese Neulit. Me cae bien Neulit.
I felt a bit bad at first, but I really did.
Cayeron en las estafas comerciales.
He even offered to deliver my gifts to the fortress of Maripede for me once he's done with the day's work. Neuvillette is a man of his word. If he says he can do something, then he means it.
See, even Clorand was happy to take him up on his offer. If even his trusty subordinate agreed, then who was I to refuse? Wow, he seems like a real gentleman. Maybe he's not as uptight as I thought. If only the funeral parlor had an employee as thoughtful, proactive, and responsible as him. Right, Zhongli?
Indeed.
Cierto.
If Neuvillette offered to deliver her gifts to Ryan,
Busca Neulit. Vamos, ya voy a partir, Neulit. Quiero hablar contigo. Sabías que necesitaba hablar con Tejeo, ¿verdad? Y no hiciste nada. Qué bueno. No quiero que todo terminara en desastre, la verdad.
we don't know exactly when he'll show up.
O sea, ambos probablemente evitaron un conflicto muy grande en ese momento, ¿saben? O sea, recuerden que de los 4 arcontes que ahorita conocemos, Ah, lo único que sí dijo Neuri que sí se agarraría chingazos es con el Sean Lee. Así que temo si algún día, temo si esos dos se hubieran encontrado.
Neverett, we lucked out!
Oh, it's you. It has been some time since our last meeting. Few people frequent this location. Since I was able to conclude my work early for the day, I thought I might take a walk and avail myself of this area's peace and quiet.
Me alegra.
Early? Do you always work this late, Neverett?
Strictly speaking, that depends on the agenda for the day. I am hardly bereft of time, however, so working late is of little consequence to me.
Really? If you have so much time on your hands, then why did you only go to Chaoying Village for half a day?
First, I should clarify that I was referring to my lifespan, rather than the time at my disposal on
Ah.
any. Second, I was unaware you possessed knowledge of my trip to Chaoying Village.
Me cuentas resumida Neuri todo lo que ha ocurrido hoy. Todo lo ocurrido de hoy.
Thank you for informing me. Yes, they have been safely delivered.
I have to hand it to Cloran. Just a simple gift delivery, and she has the great and mighty Udex at her beck.
I was just passing through. It was merely an act of convenience.
All right. Then I hereby confirm receipt of the goods on behalf of the staff of the Fortress of Merope.
A verbal receipt of confirmation? Is such a formality really necessary for a small matter such as this?
Guess not.
Supongo que no.
This quantity of tea, though, seems a little excessive for a gift, don't you think? Before you start accusing me of
Ay, Dios.
About that. Much of that is my own excess, I'm afraid.
Oh? Why? What?
It was buy 10 boxes, get half off.
No, no, me cayó la estafa comercial. No puede ser. De todo lo que creía cayó él.
Ah, that explains it then. Well, go ahead and leave them to me. I'll get through this step as fast as I
Todos
can.
cayeron en la estafa.
You have my thanks. Oh, there's something else I'd like to give to you.
This is a stone slate, engraved with a symbolic design.
While that is an apt description, it is in actuality a legal codex.
A legal codex, huh?
Before the advent of modern writing utensils, information was recorded on stone slabs such as this.
Porque estaba a mitad del precio.
Okay.
Since ancient times, the scales of justice have symbolized the fairness and impartiality of judiciousness. As a tribute to that sentiment, this slate was designed after a traditional legal codex and engraved with a symbol instead of text. During my travels recently, I chanced upon a roadside stall offering tourists the opportunity to try their hand at the ceramic arts. We joked with Claran some time ago about gifting you a legal codex. So, here you go.
Ah, so that's what this is about.
I did not expect you to remember it as well. In any case, I hope this can be considered as a reasonable attempt to join in on the banter.
It is a very good attempt. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Even your sense of humor centers around the law. That's an impressive level of commitment. A gift of this significance deserves to be put on display, and I know just the place. Front and center in the fortress's showroom.
Surely there's no need for such a...
Just kidding. I don't have anything like a showroom. But we do have a storage room. We can put it next to all the mechanical parts Sijuin has collected.
That sounds good to me.
Ya veo.
So that's what you were doing in Chaoying Village.
Indeed. Of course, while I was there, I also took the opportunity to...
Neta.
The aftertaste is much purer than what I have delivered to me in Fontaine. It stands to reason that the long-distance transport has a tendency to imbue the water with extraneous emotion.
Este es el Neuri siempre tomando agua.
True flavor. You simply have to go to the source. Perhaps I should organize some time off to do the same elsewhere. Then we are of the same mind. It appears my desire is justified.
Así es.
If you say so, like, improve time.
You're quite right. I suppose I suffer not from a lack of opportunity, but rather a lack of inspiration. However, after reading a few articles about Liyue's holiday traditions, the idea popped into my head and made itself quite at home. Seeing as I was free of responsibilities for the morning, I decided to depart at once.
¿Qué tal? ¿Te gustó la experiencia?
Refreshing. My spontaneous outing seemed to inspire quite a few other spontaneous decisions as well. Take, for example, my foray into ceramics. At first, soil from the ground is granular and unforgiving, but add the right amount of water, and in the past, I never thought about how quotidian vessels were crafted. But now, I have participated in their very making.
Me alegro, Neuli.
This is also something I made to...
Oh, nada mal.
That's a ladle? I meant that it was supposed to be some long-necked sea creature.
That was indeed one of my inspirations. Really? You like it? To tell you the truth, given your unexpected arrival, I find myself quite unequipped to give you the welcome you deserve. Around such an important holiday such as this, human custom would dictate that gifts should be in order. But I'm afraid this is all I can offer. If you'll have it, that is. That is precisely why it would do me such a great honor if you accepted.
Voy a hablar de tu parte.
You are
Amable de
most
tu parte.
welcome. Happy Lantern Rite.
Feliz rito de linterna. Y una cosa más. Me cuentas Neuli la idea de que se tome unas vacaciones.
Approve a leave of absence for myself. That sounds like it could easily lead to a vicious cycle of self-indulgence, something which couldn't be in further violation of protocol. But I suppose I understand her point. My proclivity to refrain from personal outings does, in part, originate from a sense of responsibility toward my duties. But it is also due to a lack of desire to engage in the human world. But now I see that the human world is indeed full of many interesting places to discover.
¿Ves? Te lo dije. Muy bien, aquí termina la misión. Muchas gracias por el regalo. Te queremos mucho todos, Neuli. 36 minutos. Vale, pues. Me da tiempo para muchas cosas. Qué bueno. A ver, vamos a recargar esta energía y vamos a ir a enfrentar a Shogun porque ya saben cómo me encanta tener los directos. 40 minutos, a mí no se me hace mal. O sea, creo que es el mínimo que yo suelo hacer en mis directos. No, ni más ni menos. Pero bueno, creo que lo máximo que he tirado en directos es 9 horas en el speedrun de Genshin Impact. Vaya manera de evitarlo, me reventé. A ver, ya saben cómo me encanta tenerme en directo, así que vamos con esto, con el team de... El team, ¿cómo se llama este? El team Gaming, ya recordaba el nombre de Gaming. ¿Qué hacía su C1? Porque pienso ir por la C1 de este tipo. Eso recupera un 15% de su vida. La C4 es una de las que me gustaría. Y la C6, o sea, la C6 es buenísima. O sea, no me negaron de hecho que la C6 de ese vato es de calidad legendaria. O sea, no manchen. Solo que sí, entiendo mucho de la gente, el problema de la gente con Gami, de que sí está muy roto por el hecho de que, o sea, el vato iguala daño que haría normalmente un legendario, o sea, entiendo el por qué se quejan un poquito de eso. Ay, no puede ser.
Illusions are but distractions.
Me tenía que pegar de esa forma la culera.
Shattered. Skyward. Scatter. Teamwork is true. This body is eternal.
Happy returns.
Ay, Dios.
Congratulations.
Casi me matan el Kami.
Let's light it up. Witness the final calamity.
No me pueden matar a Kami.
Inferior. Let's light it up. There's no escape.
Ay, cómo me enfada ese ataque.
Let's light it up. Eternity is in my hands. Yeah, skyward. Inferior.
Time to shine.
Make way for the
Going in. Up to it, Monsai.
Muy bien, chicos, pues hasta aquí será el directo del día de hoy. Espero que como siempre les haya gustado. Muchas gracias a todos los que estuvieron en el directo. En serio, se los agradezco mucho. Y nos vemos hasta la próxima. Adiós.